everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. So today, cooking continues. We are continuing our trek to Thanksgiving. So what's on tap for today? Pies. We need to make pies. So I need to make both the sweet potato pie and the pumpkin pie. I wasn't gonna do a pumpkin pie, but then I realized my sister's not around and my sister usually makes the pumpkin pie. I usually make the sweet potato pie. And it just, even though it's a lot of food, I feel like it would be missing if there was no pumpkin pie. So I'm just diving in. I'm gonna go elbows deep in this and I'm gonna do both pies. But like I said, I've been cooking a little bit like throughout the week because I'm working. I'm doing this after work. So we gotta make some pies tonight. Oh my goodness. So the pumpkin pie, the crust is a separate crust recipe, and I will link the recipe. I'll link all the recipes in the description. And then the pie filling is coming from a website called Bakearita. And I've made some things from their website before, and they've always turned out really good. So I can't wait to try this pie and see how the pie filling comes out. For the sweet potato pie, I am modifying the recipe that my family has used forever. I don't know where this came from, so I don't know who to credit, but this is the family like sweet potato pie that I have been making since I was a little kid that was first learning how to cook. Just subbing out, like regular milk for almond milk or sugar for honey, just so that it meets my dietary needs. But we gotta get to the kitchen. We gotta start cooking. Let's go. Kitchen. Here is the ingredient lineup. First off, this is my pie dough. I made this yesterday, so pie dough is ready to go. And again, I will put a link to the pie dough recipe in the description. But then, what else do we need? We need some salt, honey, almond butter, of course pumpkin, coconut milk, and then our spices. So we have allspice and cardamom. We have ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And I like to use this fresh nutmeg. And you could see it has there it is. So it's really interesting to look at. It has these great patterns. It almost reminds me of the stone tiger's eye. It reminds me a little of that. And the way that I grate it is just with one of these. It works perfect. So that's what I'm gonna do. First, I gotta roll out the dough. The instructions for this recipe are very straightforward. It literally is mix all the ingredients together and pour it into the pie shell. What could be easier, right? So let me roll out the dough first. Got my pie pan, and we'll lay it out in the pie pan, mix all the ingredients, and get her baking. Almost. There we go. And now I'm just gonna pick this up and invert it. And then hopefully this will just, peel away nice and easy. Careful, we don't want to rip it. Got a little thin on the edges there, that's all. Well, it's okay, we'll put it back together. It's okay. Okay. Now we're just gonna kind of make sure it fits nice and good. Put that back together right there. Take this extra off. Okay. Now I'm just gonna make the edges pretty because this is not very pretty right now. It's kind of a hot mess on the edges. We just need to make these edges all pretty. So basically what I did, I just pinched the edges and I built it up. So that way it doesn't look like it's falling apart, but we are pressed for time, so I don't have time to get all fancy with it today, but it's good enough. And then we could always take a fork and make little fork prints if we wanted to do something like that. But this is how it's gonna be for now. Now, while I'm making the filling, I'm just gonna put this in either the refrigerator or the freezer. So keep it nice and cool, let it be firm, and that way it doesn't cook too fast when we put it in the oven. So I'm gonna put that in the fridge. I'm gonna get all these other ingredients all mixed up. And like I mentioned before, this is gonna be really straightforward. I got my bowl, and I'm just gonna put all the ingredients in, take a whisk or a spatula, mixy, and then it's gonna go right into the pie crust. This is so easy, so easy. They were still in the fridge. I forgot to mention, there's also eggs. Next up, coconut milk. Next up is the honey. Then some almond butter. Next up is the salt. Then we have some cinnamon. Then we have the nutmeg. So because we're doing this fresh, we have to sort of approximate. Then we have some ginger, followed by allspice, and then some cardamom. So by the way, I only had pod cardamom, so I pressed it open and I let the seeds fall in. Now, mixy mix. There we go. This is gonna go right into the pie crust and then we're gonna bake it. Okay, into the oven. So while that's in the oven baking, I'm gonna clean up a bit, roll out the second pie crust for the sweet potato pie, and get all the preparation for the second pie going while that one's in the oven. So the pumpkin pie is in the oven cooking. It's about halfway done. I cleaned up, I got everything all situated. Oh, I'm sorry, the dishwasher's going, so I'm sorry about the noise. Got everything all situated. Now I'm ready to start working on the sweet potato pie filling. I also rolled out the pastry dough for the pie crust just like I did the first time. Same exact thing. I rolled it out into a circle. I measured it against the pie pan. I flipped it over into the pie pan and just kind of pushed it into place. Now, sweet potato filling. And here's my ingredient lineup. Of course, we have the sweet potatoes. I boiled these yesterday, so they are just literally boiled sweet potatoes. We're gonna mash them up with a fork a little bit and they'll be great. We have a couple of eggs, honey, salt, cinnamon, you have nutmeg again, and of course we're gonna need this. We also have butter, and I have to melt this. It's 4 tablespoons of butter, so this is the exact amount I need. And I'm substituting regular milk for almond milk, and that'll do it. So first up, I have to measure out my potatoes. They're nice and soft from just being boiled. It's so easy. So this was about 3 sweet potatoes of various sizes. And I needed 2 cups of potato. So this looks like I did good. This looks spot on. Look at that. Well, it's close enough. So I'm just gonna mash this up a little bit with the back of a spoon just to make sure that it's good and soft and smooth, and there's no real clumps of potato. Just so when I mix it, I don't have to worry about that. But you could see it's just super soft. Just kind of like baby food is kind of the consistency. Yep, there we go. Next, the eggs are going in. And that's 1 1/4 of milk. In this case, almond milk. Next up, in goes the honey. We gotta make it sweet. Next up is the salt. Then in goes our cinnamon. Next up, our nutmeg. We also need that melted butter. And then, once that's in, mixy mix. So while I was mixing the sweet potato filling, the pumpkin pie finished. So because I was focused on the sweet potato pie and not keeping an eye on the crust, it didn't burn, but it got a little dark. It got a little dark. It's okay. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I'll show you anyway. This is the pumpkin pie. So the crust got a little bit darker than I would have liked, but that's okay. It's okay. It'll be good. But now that the pumpkin pie is out of the oven, let's pour the sweet potato pie into the pie crust and put that into the oven. So I got my pie crust out already. This is all mixed up. It's all ready to go. And in she goes. Whee! Look at that. It's a beautiful pie. It's beautiful. Okay, we're gonna put that into the oven. So while my sweet potato pie is in the oven baking, let me tell you my tip that I should have done to prevent the overdone pie crust. So if you're making a pie and the crust is cooking faster than the inside of the pie and you need to slow down the pie crust because the middle still isn't cooked yet, take a little tin foil and you just sort of put the tin foil around the crust, and that will actually kind of make a heat tent and protect it. And that'll slow down the crust cooking while the custard part is still gonna get the full benefits of all the heat. So if I was paying closer attention to the oven, I could have done that, but I was distracted by sweet potato pie. It's the risk you run in multitasking and rushing as you are on the trek to Thanksgiving. So, whoops, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, it'll be fine. Okay, this sweet potato pie is out of the oven and it's cooling, and it's okay. I had a similar crust issue, but I even tried my trick and it didn't really save the crust. So I have 2 toasty roasty crusts, but I'm sorry. I don't know what to make of that. Is what it is, I guess. So for now, that's it for tonight, but I will be back on or after Thanksgiving and I'll let you know how the pies taste. But for now, I'm done for tonight. It is late. It's like 10:30. I've been cooking all night. I got work tomorrow. It's that time. So I'm gonna go get some rest, but I'll be right back with how the pies tasted. Doodaloo, doodaloo. So I am back. Magic of TV or YouTube-ness. So it's definitely after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was last week, but I wanted to come back and let you know how the pies were. So the pumpkin pie, the filling was really good. It was not a hit. it was not a big, like, ooh, let me get a second slice of pie. People enjoyed it. It was like one of those, there's nothing wrong with the pie. It just had a very average kind of taste to it. Yeah, it was good. It tasted okay. It tasted like a good pumpkin pie, but it wasn't like memorable. It wasn't like, I need that pumpkin pie recipe. It was just like, it was a good pumpkin pie. It was like a sturdy workhorse of a pumpkin pie recipe. Then there was the sweet potato pie. This one was a hit. This one, even people who like don't follow my diet, like were enjoying this pie. There were lots and lots of sweet potato nom-noms to be had. Lots of people really, really enjoyed it, wanting extra slices. It was good. It was good. I am shocked there were leftovers on the sweet potato pie, but there were, and I was the fortunate recipient of the leftovers. So yeah, it was good. I would, you know, my sweet potato pie, it's the one I do every year. It's the tried and true. It's fantastic. I love it. Pumpkin pie, again, wasn't a bad pie. It just wasn't like a super memorable pie. That, and we also had other desserts. My mom made me a birthday tart from the same website, from Bakearita. And it was a chocolate and strawberry tart. That was a hit. Everybody loved that chocolate tart. Everybody. My uncle opened the fridge and like before like dinner was done, it was like eyeballing it. He's like, what is that chocolatey looking thing? We were like, yeah, that's my birthday pie, my birthday tart rather. It's for me, but I will share. Everyone loved that one. So yeah, like I said, Bakearita's usually like knocks it out of the park. So this was just a one-off, I guess. But with that, I am done. I will link all the recipes in the description of the video. And until next time, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.